So it seems like One Piece is getting a remake. Thank God. Why thank God, you may ask? Because I've personally been waiting for something like this. I stopped watching this series at Eni's Lobby because of series fatigue. Pacing really did a number on me despite the arc being amazing. After Eni's Lobby, I skipped to the Fishman arc, saw the episodes where they all reunited to see their post-time skip designs, and the rest I basically got the TLDR from YouTube, Twitter clips, and One Piece influencers. I mean, it's hard not to know what's going on in the series since everything from new chapter releases to the ongoing anime is always trending because of the cool animation and fight. But since there's a remake coming out, I'm more excited than ever to hop back in. I was tempted to go back into the series after watching the live action, but after looking at the episode count, I was like, maybe not. But then I hear about this remake they have going on, then I realize something. I, more than most people, am the exact demographic this new show is aiming for. So I thought making a video about my insight as a casual would be fresh compared to super dedicated fans of the series who've already talked about this 100 times by now. After doing some research about the remake, something that gets me extremely excited is that Oda seems to have given them full permission to not have to be one for one with how the manga is and how it does things. So this team is being granted a lot of freedom to do some great things here. On top of everything, this remake is made by Wit Studios, and for those who don't know, that's the studio who did the first few seasons of Attack on Titan and other great series, so they already have a respectable reputation, which is even better. So I wanted to make this video about the things I personally want and are most excited about with this remake. First thing I wanted to talk about was the choreography. When I first watched One Piece, I was coming off the back of just finishing Naruto. To be honest, watching Naruto kind of spoiled me on what great choreography looks like. Even now, Naruto is said to have some of the best choreography in all of anime. Now, I didn't know that at the time because I was just new to anime in general. So going into One Piece, I was expecting some level of higher quality choreography, which I didn't get. This wasn't an issue. I didn't think the choreography was bad by any means, but it just didn't live up to the expectations I had. And now, after watching the live action, I especially want this remake to have great choreography. Seeing Zoro, Sanji, and even Nami, surprisingly, in the live action stole the show. Each and every single fight they got in, whether it be Nami with Marines, whether it be Zoro with Mihawk, whether it be Sanji kickboxing at the Baradier, it made me realize the series could be extremely elevated with some great choreography. With Zoro, I want to feel that each and every single technique he does, every single swing of the sword he does, has meaning and purpose to it. I want to see more MMA, kickboxing moves from Sanji. What I loved about the live action was they made Nami more of like a Catwoman-esque thief, being able to hold her own against Marines, take them down, or not even just Marines, even fishermen at some point, was very satisfying and cool to see. It made her feel more involved with the crew. And I know, like, in the future, One Piece's power scaling gets crazy. I've seen clips on Twitter, I've seen clips even preparing for this video, and I'm like, what the fuck is even going on? I'm seeing Zoro fly through the air. I'm like, okay, Zoro can fly now. I'm seeing Sanji have like blue fire on his feet, kicking people. I don't know what's going on, but at least for the early part of One Piece, I think it should be more technical based. So I really hope they lock in and focus with that. Next thing I wanted to talk about was the pacing. You probably heard this a million times from a bunch of other creators, but holy shit, they aren't lying and neither am I. I know the show was made in the 90s and they stretched it out because it's not only an ongoing series, but they also didn't want to catch up to the manga. But nowadays, especially with the rise of seasonal anime, people just don't have the patience to sit through extra scenes of characters, whether it be running through hallways for episodes on end, or fights taking way too long to begin or getting stalled out longer than they have to. Which is why I said earlier it was a smart move to do a remake, especially when it feels like One Piece is finally starting to hit the mainstream thanks to the Netflix show. I didn't realize how much the pacing affected the series until after Eni's Lobby. The ending to the arc was so great. To me, I damn near forgot all the slow moments that show put me through. I realized this issue the most when I got to the beginning of Thriller Bark, and all the pacing issues came back to me at once. Felt like whiplash. I was like, damn, as much as I enjoyed it, I need a breather or to watch something else entirely before I watch this next arc. But then, like I said earlier, I just ended up never coming back to it. Nowadays, I hear people say, just watch One Piece. And I'm just like, damn, I wish I had this back then. For those who don't know and are a casual like your boy Cloud, One Piece is just a Toei series that dedicated fans of the series just decided to make. They fix the pacing and make it match the manga's pacing best they possibly can. Honestly, I was considering watching that until I heard about this remake. I'm so glad we're coming to the end of long ongoing animes, man. You don't even understand. I barely got through Naruto because of the war arc pacing. pacing, and then when new shonen like Black Clover or Boruto come out, I never even consider it. I hope they don't go too fast with the pacing though, especially with a story like One Piece where a lot of the emotional and hard-hitting moments usually come from us getting to spend a good amount of time with characters and letting some of their interactions with each other breathe more than a lot of series get to. Don't get me wrong, I've heard that Toei, especially nowadays, have added some great anime-only scenes that the current fan base absolutely loves, so much so that the remake may be able to take some of that anime-only stuff and add something similar to their adaptation if they feel it adds to an art. Hopefully Wit is able to find the right balance and keep everything feeling fleshed out. Considering Wit's track record, I have a good feeling and a reason to believe they'll do extremely well in this area. Next thing I hope they improve upon in this remake are the sounds. A lot of One Piece fans I've noticed are they're very attached to the voice actors, and I don't blame them at all, especially for how long that series is. These voices just become so attached to these characters, it's hard for you to separate the voice from the character. But this is a remake from the ground up, and all these voice actors now are old, and they're still doing the Toei anime. So let them, chill out, let them keep doing the Toei anime or whatever other projects they're doing. And I'd like to see some new and fresh faces in the industry for this remake project. Also, I understand the hesitancy that some One Piece fans have with the music, because in my opinion, I think One Piece has one of the most underrated soundtracks and OSTs in all of shonen. The walk to Arlong part, the walk to Enies Lobby, the old time piratey feel that the One Piece anime currently gives you is extremely great in my opinion. It doesn't get talked about enough, but I hope they completely redo everything. I want to hear new pirate music, point blank period. I want to hear another composer's idea of what pirate music sounds like. My only hope is that it lives up to the original, because I really do like the original soundtrack. Earlier I mentioned sounds when fighting. I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched the original Toei animation up until Enies Lobby, I noticed that they used sounds from their other series in this one, but it didn't bother me that much, especially since there was a time skip. I knew that y'all got better animation, so I assumed that the sound effects would get better. But then I was collecting clips for this video, and it's literally the same exact sound effect that they were using years ago. One Piece and Dragon Ball Z are their cash cows, so I don't understand why they reuse sound effect. I'm watching this cool ass direction, animation, some cool choreography thrown in there, and with these Dragon Ball Z ass sound effects. For the love of God, Wit Studio, please give One Piece an entirely new sound effect library. We are in the big 2024. We do not need to be stuck in DBZ era sound effects, please and thank you. Another thing I wanted to talk about was character interactions. This isn't a big topic of mine, so I won't make it its own section, but I just quickly wanted to speak on it. I really hope that they add more character interactions between the characters. I hope they don't look at that as filler. People are saying, hey, do not include filler in this One Piece remake, but I really hope Wit Studios doesn't take that as, oh, let's cut out these characters having conversations. In my opinion, the reason why Usopp and Luffy's fight with each other at Enies Lobby hit me so hard was because we had so many episodes of them talking and interacting and being friends with each other. These are the types of One Piece interactions that fans are always wanting more of. Especially I did. I especially want them to keep these character interactions post time skip, because I've heard post time skip you don't get a lot of that. I don't know if that's true or not. One Piece fans, you can correct me or not, but I've done some research. I went on Reddit, some YouTube videos, and usually one of the biggest complaints that I see is that you don't get as much of those character interactions as much anymore. I've also heard complaints about their personalities changing. I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard Sanji's become kind of a pervert. Please tell me that's not true, please. Sanji was my third favorite on the crew. I liked his suave, sort of lady-loving, gentleman vibe he had going on. Please don't tell me he turned into a pervert. Please don't tell me they gave him the pervert gag. I've also heard some complaints about Zoro and how he doesn't really laugh or make jokes or smile as much. So if One Piece remake ever gets to that point, hopefully they show these characters interacting, laughing, and being more themselves. And on the cover pages, they all seem to be interacting, having fun, drinking, partying, all smiling together. But when I looked up on YouTube and Reddit and Twitter, they say that they never really show those interactions in the actual story, that they're just saved for the cover pages. So I very much hope if they ever get to that time skip, they fix all that. In conclusion, I'm extremely excited. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly what I think the series needs, especially coming off the back of the One Piece live action. All the One Piece live action fans who are looking at the episode number and being like, it's too long for me, are just gonna funnel into the remake. And I heard both of them are going to be at Netflix. I really have high hopes for this remake. Wit Studios haven't let me down yet, and I don't think they're going to. So I have nothing but optimism on my side. I will be making future videos on the One Piece remake, and I will also be talking about One Piece live action season 2 when that comes out, and I also just talk about random stuff. So if you like what you saw here today, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel keep going. Also, One Piece fans, if I messed anything up or said anything wrong, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I am a casual. I've only watched part of the series, so correct me if I'm wrong anywhere in the comments below. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about. So yeah.